So, what's going on, my fellow crypto brethren? So, today seems to be red, red, red. My God, it's unbelievable how red it is. But yeah, I mean, everything. I got a couple of watch lists here in Coin Market Cap, and it's like everything except Bitcoin is completely red. But yeah, I'm gonna be talking about Caspa. So, there's a lot of talk about Caspa going around. About what is going to be at the top. Crypto Archie said that he doesn't believe Caspa is going to go beyond 70 cents for this cycle. From I think it was like 30 to 70 cents for this this cycle as a top. Yeah, I kind of agree and I disagree, more or less. I think I'm more disagree, but I think what he's missing is that this cycle is not going to end in November, like a lot of people are saying. So I believe that Caspa is probably not even going to get to 70 cents this year, right? So this cycle is a different story. I think it's going to really pump. I think it's going to pump to the moon. But this year, my God, I'll be surprised if it goes to 40 cents. Just because of the economic conditions out there, and the market is just not set up to cause that type of pump. We saw Bitcoin dominance drop for 4 here. These are weekly candles, and so we have 4 weeks worth of Bitcoin dominance dropping, and then now this week is going back up again. So this is what I've been talking about last couple of weeks. So I've seen this relatively new, I don't know if it's new, but more or less obscure, at least for me, obscure definition of what is alt season. A lot of people define an alt season as this 11-month time period when, this is 2017, this 11-month time period when the alts outperform Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is still increasing in value, right? Again, over here, you go 2021, where you get 11-month time period where the alts are outperforming Bitcoin and Bitcoin is still increasing in value. So I had generally thought of alt season as either have one of two definitions rather than that third one. When Bitcoin dominance drops below 50%, which is this line right here, right? Which is right here. So Bitcoin dominance have to go all the way down here below 50%, or when Bitcoin dominance goes all the way down to a point where Bitcoin reaches its top. So Bitcoin is actually reversing and decreasing in value and entering into its bear cycle while the alts are still outperforming Bitcoin. So basically that's usually like lasts for like a month, right? So last cycle, Bitcoin top was in November, and that alt season, that short time frame that we would have considered alt season based on that definition, would have been from like November up until the end of the year, up until January 1st or something like that, something other, or January 15th. There's some stragglers were still pumping, some alts were just still pumping. So interestingly enough, when it comes to how long this cycle is going to be, I've been talking about this quite a bit in my previous Caspa videos over the last couple of months. And just a few nights ago, I saw a video from Jesse AI, who was saying pretty much the same stuff that I've been saying all this time, these last few months, that the bull cycle top has nothing to do with the halving. It's more to do with the economic conditions and what's going on out there in the economy and the money supply and the pump of the money supply. And he went on and touched on something I've touched on in a couple of videos. So this is here we go. So this is the money supply chart. Let me adjust it by percent change over a monthly frequency. All right, and let's make the time frame from last last cycle, right? So we have, well, we can make it to the 18th. Yeah, January of 2018 up until December of 2021. So basically, as he described in his video a few days back, as I have been describing, so this pump right here, this money supply pump in, in 2020, there was obviously was based on COVID, is what caused the Bitcoin top here, down here in 2021. So this preceded this, right? This preceded the top. So, and this happens every single cycle. So if we go back, so if you want to do the 2017 cycle, we got January 2014. Let's take it out to, let's say the January of 2018. So we got that in it. So we have the same thing. So the top in the 2017 cycle was in December. So that's right here. And we have this money supply pump over here. And we have this here. There was some correction here. I don't know what this was about. So we actually went negative here in March 2015. But that was a correction there. But nonetheless, we had this top right here, and then which preceded the Bitcoin top over here. So what happened here, I don't know, but it is good to point out that from the financial crisis in 2008 right up until 2015, we didn't have any, we didn't have interest rates at all. It was zero, right? And we started getting those rate hikes in 2015. So I'll go back to this chart. So it would have been right about here. We got this rate hike. So it's interesting stuff. So, a lot of people think that the rate hikes are what causes what rate cuts are what causes quantitative easing. Quantitative easing, which is money printing, but there's sort of two separate things that both make the economy pump, right? So we're gonna get into quantitative easing supposedly according to the Fed starting next year, early next year, which is why we haven't experienced this type of pump yet, right? Now interest rates might be cut. Interest rates might be cut in. It's probably not going to happen July 30th, but it's probably going to happen in September. We're going to start cutting interest rates. So that combined with quantitative easing, money printing, we're going to see some enormous pumps in the money supply during the year of 2026, during next year. So that type of money supply pump precedes the actual bull run top. So that is to say that we are a long way from this cycle's end. It's not going to end in November like most people are saying. Like most of those influencers are promising that it's going to happen in November, and there's going to be a lot of disappointment. And I think that what's going to happen is there's going to be so many people disappointed that they're going to exit the market, and they're going to cause things to dump. And we're going to see some really crazy lows, right? Caspa, if it does pump to 30, 40 cents over the next few months, Caspa is probably going to go back down to under 10 cents again in December. I mean, that's my prediction. And it's going to be, if you think about it, we're at 100 and, it was 123 K for an all-time high of Bitcoin. And everybody's promising that the top is going to be in the next 3 months. And Bitcoin is going to top out at 150K. That has got to be the most boring bull cycle ever. The last 3 months of the cycle, Bitcoin is only going to pump by 20%. Dude, are you kidding me? You know how freaking boring that is going to be? My God. There's no way in hell that's going to happen, right? It's going to be disappointing for a lot of people, I believe. I could be totally wrong, and everything, everything just flips. But I mean, I doubt it. We're going to see we're going to see like this mild top over the next few months. And it's going to be nothing like the bull cycle tops that we've seen in the past, right? So we've had 4 bull cycle tops, right? And they've all been absolutely insane. And yeah, and like I said, the money supply, if you go back to this cycle, if you take a look at this cycle and see what's going on with this cycle, right? So 2022, let's say January 2022, we don't have that type of money supply top yet. It hasn't happened, right? We have this retracement because of that insane amount of inflation and the quantitative tightening that went on back in 22, right? 22, 23. So, but we haven't had that top yet, right? And once we get that top, I'm talking money supply top here. I'm talking Bitcoin top. Once we get that money supply top, we still got like a year or more away from, the Bitcoin top, the bull cycle top, where things are going to pump, where Bitcoin is going to go from 150K to like 500K. That is more realistic. That is not, that will not be a disappointing and boring bull run top, right? But just to go back, just to reiterate on what I've been saying. So if we go back here to the previous cycle, I talked about the 2021 cycle. I talked about the 2017 cycle. Let's go back to the 2013 cycle, right? And let's go 4 years before. So let's say 2009, right? So this is 2017. Hold on. 2013. Okay, here we go, right? So here is the 4 years preceding the 2013 bull run top. Now, over here, right? Over here, we had this money supply top where the top is right at the end of the chart right here of Bitcoin. We have the Bitcoin top in December. The money supply top, again, is here, right? Now, this was a 2-year cycle, right? Because the previous cycle, the first cycle, ended right here in June 2011. So this was the first bull run top of Bitcoin, June 2011, where it pumped 10,000x. It went from 1/3 of a cent to $33. So it's like, and it's the most insane pump ever. Most people didn't hear of it yet, but those who did hear of it, they bought into it like crazy, like mad, right? I wish I heard of it. I hadn't heard of it in 2011 yet. It wasn't until 2013 that I heard of it. So, but yeah, so that's a 2-year cycle here. And then this is the first cycle. And this cycle happened without the halving, right? The halving didn't happen yet, right? This is like a year before the halving, the first halving. So it's the Genesis block, as they call it. So going back to what I've been saying and what Jesse AI said, and it's like, I'm like, damn, it's like finally another KOL who's talking some sense. That the bull cycle top has nothing to do with the halving. And if you think about it, the halving what it only does, it cuts in half the amount of Bitcoin that's being sent into the market that's being mined, right? So any new Bitcoin, right? The new Bitcoin coming into the market is being cut in half, right? It's not the existing Bitcoin. It's not saying the entire circulation, the entire Bitcoin in circulation is being cut in half. It doesn't go from a 21 million total supply to like 10.5 million, right? So, and even if it did, it only that in effect only doubles the price. So it's really nothing to do with the halving. I mean, it could like have a minor influence on it just because the lack of Bitcoin available, but it's just more because people are just buying it and hodling it, right? There's just not enough available. So the top is basically basically has to do with demand plus plus money supply plus money flowing in the economy. People feeling like they want to take some risk, right? And they start buying into assets, right? It's the opposite. When the money is not flowing in the economy, things are tight, things are tightening, and a lot of people are worried they're going to lose their jobs because things are not stable. So then they're not buying into assets, right? They're saving their money in case they lose their job so they can afford their rent, they can pay for their food or whatever. So this is what you need, this money supply top. Now, if I rewind, let's say I said that the previous top was in June. The first top was in June 2011. Now, if we go back 4 years prior, right? So this first bull cycle top was in June 2011. What do we have here? We have another money supply top, right? So I just think that, yeah, we got a long road ahead of us. And one of the things I've been doing is like, now we're here to make money, right? This is crypto. It's like if Caspa doesn't do good, we have to find, other ways to make money. Caspa is going to do good in the long run. And I think that we're going to see like a 500K Bitcoin, and I think we're going to see like a $5 Caspa or more, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen like anytime soon. So let me see, going back to this right here, this top right here, right? This goes to show you that COVID is what caused this money supply top, right? The insane amount of money printing, like rapid money printing, like out of the blue, right? And then, a little over a year later, we get the Bitcoin top, like a year and a half or whatever. So it begs the question: what if COVID didn't happen? So this money supply top would have been like 6 months or a year later, right? And that means this previous bull cycle wouldn't have ended in 2021. It would have been like ending in 2022 or maybe 2023. It would have been like a 5 or 6 year cycle, right? So the cycle doesn't have to be 4 years all the time. Right now, what we're looking at, right? We're about to complete the 4th year of this cycle in just a few months. We're talking like 3 months away, right? Because we're going to get to November, but it is very realistic. We're going to see a 5-year cycle or more. I know this doesn't sit well with people. A lot of people get angry and frustrated. I get a lot of hate. I get a lot of hate from both sides of the table, right? I get hate from people, who don't like Caspa when I post these Caspa videos. And one guy said, I had a video on my 3-month plan to be a Caspa millionaire, and one guy had this, and I'll give him credit. It's a really snarky remark. He says, I know how you can do it. You can invest $700,000 into Caspa. And I was like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? The Caspa is only going to pump 30%? So yeah, oh my God, dude. Yeah, I give it to him. That was kind of funny, but I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. But and then the other side of the aisle, you get people who have been promised they're going to get their Lambo in November of this year because Caspa is going to reach like $5 or $10 in November. I do agree. It's going to get to those levels. It's going to pump, and it's going to do it this cycle. But the problem is that this cycle is not 4 years. It's not going to be 4 years. I could be wrong, right? So I win either way, right? I look at it like this, like my name's Code Monkey Mike. I build a lot of software. I got a Discord, and I got a community. I got you can log into my website, link in the description below. I got all these tools, right? We're finding all these awesome coins, and we got some awesome people. I wanted to quickly talk about some of the things we've been playing recently. Like, this was a call not for my software. This was a call from my community member. Like I said, link in the description below. Check out the website, CryptoRich. .vip, link in the description below. But yeah, one of the guys, this wasn't even my call, it was his call. One of my members called this coin. It was like at 170K market cap, 170K trash coin. And one man's trash is another man's treasure. And this thing damn near pumped nearly 100x, dude. Holy guacamole, man. So yeah, he's got some good calls. we've got some good calls. And when I'm in my software, if you go back to my website, I've been taking profits recently on this call. One of my processes in the community called the Insider Alert found this coin called Pythia, all right, called Pythia. So it's an AI token, and it's like just the last few weeks, it's been nonstop pumping. We've been getting these all-time high alerts. Like I said, we got tons of shite in my community. We have all-time high alerts, lets us know when we need to sell and things like that. And it's just pumping to the moon. It got up to a 27x. It was sitting on it for like 6 months or so, and it hit a 27x. You know, so far, and the thing is still damn near still pumping. I think everything is red today. The last time I took some profits was like just like 3 days ago or so. But things are wicked, right? Things are like awesome. Going back to Caspa. Now, this is my Caspa power law chart that I created last November, and if we look at the date, we take us out to, all right, let's say December 14th. Let me start the mouse right there, right? So power law, based on this power law, says that Caspa's price will be like 39 cents. I don't think max resistance is $1.20. Based on this, I don't think it's going to get to $1.20. I mean, it could be wrong, but within this chart thinks it's possible, right? This chart thinks it's possible. So we get to like $1.20. So say, okay, this is a good start. So December 18th, that was the date of one of the tops, I think either the 2013 or in 2017, December 18th. So if we stop right there, we'll get a 40-cent Caspa based on power law. And I think that's doable. Will Caspa pump to like $5? Yes. Will it do it this cycle? Yes. Will this cycle end this year? No. I really don't think so. If it does, great. You know, I'll get my $10 million mansion. You know, you know, we get our Lambos and we're all good. If it doesn't, I don't mind, right? Because like I said, I'm buying all these other coins. I'm investing in meme coins. I'm making a killing, right? I could just come back here. I could come back here when the Caspa crashes back down to 10 cents again and just buy more Caspa. And I can wait till the next year, right? So, I don't know. It is what it is, guys. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff going on. We got a nice community. We got a small community of some good members. You know, it's always good to be with like-minded people. So link in the description below. The website is called Crypto Rich. And click that like and subscribe button. And I will catch you guys later.